Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday Eve. So today we are picking up where we left off, kind of. Yesterday, you may remember, we talked about some of the considerations going into course selection so that you're not caught off guard today and having to make all these decisions on the spot. And so I'm going to recap those on the screen in a second here, but also I want to direct your attention to the handouts, the advisement handouts today. Your first period teachers should have had a stack of these in their mailbox and enough to go around to each of the non-seniors. Seniors don't need to make selections for next year, right? Speaking of which, we'll miss you, but for now, we're going to ignore you. But a lot of the recap for yesterday, you can catch on this first page. Again, academic selection, a little note about that and how the counselors will be taking care of your academics for the most part. So when you look on your selection screen and see something amiss for core, or you're curious about something in the core options that are showing there or that are already locked in there, generally you don't need to worry about it, though you're welcome to ask questions if you see something amiss, but those are still to be edited on an individual basis in preparation for next school year. Otherwise, academics, if you want to add honors next year, remember there's that add-ons form. Dual enrollment, if you want to add that for next year, or just express interest in it. It is not a commitment at this stage, but if you want to express interest in it, we will certainly add you to the contact list for more information on that as it becomes released. And you can use, guess what? The add-ons form for that. Also, you may remember there are some world language options that we talked about. Most people are going to be preloaded with Spanish 1 and 2, their 11th and 12th grade year, and you can either test out instead, earn credit for it you already know if you're a native speaker, or you can opt out if you know your college and career goals don't require high school world language credits, or you can start the Spanish sequence earlier than junior year, 11th grade year, and any of those options. If you want to learn more or exercise those options, a good starting point is that add-ons form. Surprise, there it is again. There's also a way to take a different language. It requires some extra conversation, though, individually, to see if it's a fit for you as an individual, because the option we have for that is Georgia Virtual School to offer languages other than Spanish. It is got to be it helps if there's a demonstrated need, but also a demonstrated track record for having a high Lexile reading level, along with high performance in your academics, or well balanced overall in your prior coursework. So that's another add-ons piece, right? And same for work-based learning. That's just for 11th and rising 11th and 12th graders to leave school early. And in return, it's because you're getting experience on the job and applying skills that you've learned in your pathway courses so far, and using them to really learn even more out of it in a way that can't be taught in a classroom. Getting actually out there in the wild, in the workplace. So work-based learning, that is another add-ons item. All right, so all those add-ons, again, if I had to parade them just in real quick sequence here: honors, dual enrollment, different ways of handling your world language credits. Using Georgia Virtual School is another way of handling your world language credits, and work-based learning. Now, in all of those cases, there is further conversation, approval process or application process, etc. And so that's why we need the add-ons form rather than you entering those selections directly onto your course plan in a moment. And so those add-ons, if you want any of those things, submit an add-ons form at tinyurl.com/nm-add-ons. And otherwise, make your elective selections today. I want this to be really clear. Make your elective selections today as if your add-on is not happening next year. So that way, if you don't get approved, or if you slip up and don't get the application in, or plans just change, you still have your backup plans already in place and turnkey waiting for you. All right. So in case it makes it more familiar, these are the slides. We covered that information over a little more time yesterday, those add-ons. But again, for those of you who want the written reminder, as well as on the other side of that sheet, there is printed instructions, written instructions for today's selection activity. And on another sheet that you should have, the electives menu. So this, in case it's a little tough to think of them all at once on the spot, it's nice to have a bit of a menu in front of you so you know exactly what's available across the board. And so we provided this menu, so to speak, of the electives that are offered at North Murray. All right, so I hope you have that handout in front of you in case you prefer the written instructions or to have that electives menu in front of you to pick from. One more plug, if you want to make any adjustments to, maybe resubmit an add-ons form if you didn't like your selections the first time on the add-ons, or if you want to return to your course plan and tweak what you've selected, you're welcome to do that through noon, January 9. That's the day we get back from break. And so all these things that we're talking about, the add-ons form and your academic plan, where you can make direct entries on your elective selections in Infinite Campus, those both close January 9 at noon. And if you need a reminder of any of this information, y'all should have gotten a link to the registration info for rising 10th to 12th graders in your email yesterday. Another way to get there is from North Murray's main page, which is where I'm at on the screen right now. You can scroll down to the counseling page, and then under the menu item for course selection, go to rising 10th through 12th grade info. And ta-da, we have the very instructions that I had on screen, the handout that you have in your hands hopefully right now. You have a reminder of all that, a recording of yesterday's advisement where we talked a little bit more about those add-ons and other considerations for selection and planning your next school year, as well as the link for the add-ons form. We also have a set of course selection FAQs, things that we encountered a number of times last year, and so we brought them back. We revived them in case they're helpful again with some of those common questions. And then some other advisement documents. This is among these, handy things like graduation checklist, the overview of all the different pathways at North Murray, also the honors recommendation rubric. There's some good stuff on here, but what I really want to show you, we won't watch it, of course, but I want you to know it's there in case you have not gotten to see what all North Murray offers in terms of electives. We have this fantastic video put together by our audiovisual pathway students, and you can see the showcase of all our different pathways. And so it's like 8th grade expo. If you didn't get 8th grade expo, you have a way to still get that immersive experience of our different pathways at North Murray. All right, so without further ado, so you've gotten the recap. Now let's let the rubber meet the road. What we're entering into Infinite Campus in a moment is your elective selections. And much of that it has to do with your pathways and completing a pathway as part of your graduation plan. Everyone who can complete a pathway needs to complete one in the area of CTAE, fine arts, journalism, or advanced academics. Also, with that in mind, your elective selections for this upcoming year needs to include a way to make progress towards completion, on-time completion of a pathway. All right, so now let's go ahead and head to Infinite Campus on your Chromebooks to choose our electives. And as we do that, a couple things I want to keep in mind for us. Again, you have the handouts. Those are written instructions for those who prefer that, the list of electives. But also, please do listen and follow along carefully. There are some points that will be helpful that you may miss if you are a little too in the zone on selection and working ahead without the group. So please do follow along carefully. Don't work ahead. You might miss something important. And if you have a question, let your teacher know, and they can enter it in the Meet, into the chat for the Meet. We have our other counselors on board to help answer those questions and maybe flag me down if there's something I need to answer for the group. All right, so moving on to the actual selection process for your electives. Go ahead and log into Infinite Campus. Any window you have that has a Google product open should have the waffle menu. And so go ahead and click that and find the Infinite Campus logo. This is what it looks like these days. It's just a blue ring. And so find that and click it. I tend to find that at the very bottom of the list. I don't know about you, but I just have to hit the waffle icon and scroll all the way down, and there it is. And then when you're logged in, click Academic Plan from the main menu in your student portal. I'm going to give y'all just a moment to get there. And for the teachers who are nearby their keyboard, if you don't mind just kind of giving a thumbs up emoji or we're good, we're there when you get there, when your class is overall to that point. All right, looks like by and large we're there. So again, log into Student Portal, Infinite Campus Student Portal, and from the main menu, select Academic Plan. That'll bring you to this page, but ignore this page. This kind of starter screen here does not have bearing on our activity right now. So actually just don't make any changes here, just hit Next, please. Hit Next, and that'll bring you to a screen that looks like this. Now, the screenshots I have on the following screens are going to be zoomed in, but this is what your view should look like. It's the grand view, and each column is a different, it's your 4-year plan, basically. Each column is a different grade level in your high school career, and it reflects what we've mapped out for you for your core in the first several rows to meet your graduation requirements in those areas. And then farther down, there should be a row for CTAE. Let's see here, CTAE, Fine Arts, Other, things like that. So now, as we get started, as we really start entering these things, everybody needs to just work in the column for your upcoming grade. So if you're a 9th grader right now, you only ever need to be working in this 10th grade column, okay? And in like fashion, if you're a 10th grader right now, you only need to work in the 11th grade column, okay? So we're not making plans for future years, just this upcoming school year. The example on the screen is a rising 10th grader. So the screenshots you see will be largely 10th grade centric. Again, elective options and pathway sequences are shown on your electives menu handout. And don't forget, you do need to take those pathway courses in their pathway order. On the electives handout, those pathways are shown in order generally. So, you know, take the intro first. If you haven't taken the intro, you're not going to get into level 2 or level 3, right? So that could be setting yourself up for failure if you leapfrogged a class like that. Okay, as you're there, a lot of what you'll be working in, again, is the upcoming grade column. And then the rows you'll be working in are mainly these elective rows, CTAE, Fine Arts, and Other. And generally speaking, if you're going into 10th grade, we need your 3 top picks. And if you're going into 11th or 12th grade, we need 2 top picks, a total of 2 top picks. And the reason behind that is, generally speaking, in 10th grade, your 7-period schedule is going to have 4 core. You're generally going to have your required PEs done and over with by then. So the rest of your schedule, you have wiggle room for generally 3 electives. So your top picks that you're entering on these rows are what could realistically fit around your required core on the schedule. So this is where you're telling us, this is what I'd really like to fill my schedule. This is what I'd really like to fill my day. Oh, and if you're going into 11th or 12th grade, on the other hand, you're generally taking 4 core and Spanish. So that's where we have room for 2 top picks. Okay, if you're planning for 11th or 12th grade next year. All right, and to enter those top picks, find your elective of interest, your top pick of interest on the menu, and if it's under the CTAE area on the page, then look at the CTAE box, click that one in your upcoming grades column, and it should activate into a little bit of a search option where you can start typing in a few characters of the course title or a few characters of the course code. Because some course titles are abbreviated in some ways in Infinite Campus, I would recommend kind of stopping at 3 or 4 characters. Once you get beyond that, chances are you might be weeding your intended course out if it happens to be one of those that's abbreviated in the first word or the keyword you're searching. And when you open that up, type in those first couple characters. In this case, this example student wants chorus. And so they started typing in CHO, and that brought up the chorus options. Well, there are other levels of chorus, but you notice these ones are grayed out, and this one's a little bolder. This chorus one is bolder. That's because it's built in where this should not let you select chorus 2, 3, or 4 if you have not taken level yet. So there are guardrails in place, but do also, be on the lookout for selecting the correct level for yourself by taking them in order. So once you have found what you want in the search, go ahead and click it. And when you do so, it should appear like this in the elective top pick box. Okay. We're gonna give a moment for that, for y'all to go ahead and take that moment to enter your top picks. Again, for rising 10th graders, a total of 3 top picks. For rising 11th and 12th graders, a total of 2 top picks. To be clear, you do not need 3 top picks in each area, okay? A total of 3 top picks for 10th graders, a total of 2 top picks for rising 11th and 12th graders. Miss Beal made a good point regarding the bandwidth issues. Also, same goes if there's some login issues or maybe somebody's device dies in this process and they can't finish what they're trying to do. Friendly reminder, you have your academic plan will remain open for editing through noon on January 9. That's the day that students get back from break. So if you have difficulties today or you mill things over the coming weeks and you decide you want to make a little switch, you are free to do that through noon on January 9. Okay, the problems saving probably relate to the next step if they haven't done alternates yet. So yeah, sit tight and we will step through alternates in a moment. Doubling up, thank you for asking about that. Actually, in this example, let me move forward a screen here. This was a rising 10th grade example, remember. So they were needing to enter 3 top picks, right? A total of 3 top picks. And yes, they are able, and our students are able, to enter multiple course listings in the same subject area box if their intention is to have that, if they want multiple in the same area. They can do that. All they need to do after clicking the course listing, the first course listing that they add into that box, they just click in it again, and that'll bring the search tool up again for that subject area. And then they click the second title that they want from that area, and it'll pop up it'll show up like this one does. Thank you for asking. We have a question about some of the freshmen taking physical conditioning presently, but they have, and through that they have a chance at earning their health course. In some cases, as a placeholder, you might see on your course plan that health or fitness is on a future year and locked, and that's just as a placeholder, so it doesn't keep showing up as an error while you're still earning that health class through physical conditioning. If we left it off your course plan entirely, it would look like it would show an error as if it was not on your plan at all, and it might impede you, might prevent you from saving your course plan, your selections today. So if you see that, if you're in physical conditioning now and taking health class, but you see it on your course plan later, that's just a placeholder. So once you complete the health class, though, and you get credit for it, we will take that future planned, or the placeholder health off of your course plan from that future year. Thank you for asking that. It's worth clarifying. All right. It's looking like we're ready to move on to the alternates. We're golden. I like it. Thank you, Mr. Ledford. All right. So alternates. So guess what? It doesn't always work out perfectly where we can get your top picks to fit just right around your core requirements. Sometimes class conflicts happen on the schedule, okay? So we usually need some backup plans or alternates. And so the next step we need input for you on is please go ahead and enter 4 or more alternate picks down in this alternates box. Regardless of the alternate electives subject, all alternates should be added to the alternates box. So when it comes to these backup plans, these plan B, C, D, E, those all go here, even if it's going to be a mix and match of CTAE, fine arts, PE electives, etc. Okay. And once you get there, and here's the nice thing, it fits. It'll keep expanding to fit any alternates that you add. So it'll grow with you as you enter more. You don't have to stop at 4. 4 is just a good base minimum. But if you have a few other electives that are interesting to you as a backup plan, by all means, go ahead and add them. That gives us a little more to choose from if we need it. But usually we're good if you give us 4 ideas. Now, on the electives menu, you'll see some PE electives that say by it, these courses are half credit or half year PE electives. And so if you select one of these, please add another to go with it. So that's at least one circumstance where you really have to add maybe 5 alternates in order to bring your equivalent of selections up to 4 or more periods worth. All right, so again, regardless of the elective subject, all alternate picks should be added to the alternates box. It'll grow as you add more, and when you finish picking one in the search box, click in again if you need to add another, and it'll let you do the search process again, right? So once you've got your alternates in, maybe you found them in a different order than you really want them. You know, maybe you found your plan D on the menu first, and then you found your plan B, right? And so on and so forth. So that's where these arrows come in handy. These up and down arrows allow you to click either the up if you want it to move up in preference, or the down arrow to move it down in preference, right? And so that helps your counselor know, hey, if I need a backup plan, this is my first backup plan, this is my second backup plan, this is my third backup plan, and so on. So please go ahead and take care of that, and that will make your preferences known to your counselor in case they need some backup plans for your schedule. And so in this case, you see here, this example student was able to reorder, you know, from one screenshot to the next. It's the same assortment of classes, but just reordered. They didn't have to scrap it and re-enter them in the order that they wanted. They just used those up and down arrows. All right, now, once you have finished entering your top picks and your alternate picks, hit save. If you don't hit save, it's as if none of this happened. So please go ahead and hit save. And you should get a dialog box, just a little pop-up message that says course plan was saved. So that's going to be your confirmation. When in doubt, if you want another set of eyes to know your screen isn't playing tricks or your eyes aren't playing tricks on you, feel free to call your teacher over so they can lay eyes on that message with you. But you should see, when you hit save, it should say course plan was saved. All right. A moment ago in the chat messages, somebody pointed out my students are having problems saving. This was my suspicion. It will not let you save if you have not selected, if you have selected a course you're not eligible for, such as course 2 if you haven't taken course 1, or how about if you selected Ag Mechanics 2, but you haven't taken Ag Mechanics 1 or Basic Ag, etc., or if you have not entered enough alternates. Okay, so there should be a message when you try to hit save. There should be a message pointing that out. You might also see some red lettering in some of your selections below, kind of hinting at this isn't something you can actually keep on your plan for now. So anyway, I appreciate you all so much for following along, being patient with the process. This is important input and feedback from you, the individual students, so that we can help you shape plans for next year around the must-have grad requirements. We want to know what awesome things North Murray offers that you want to have on your schedule to fill it and fill it constructively and meaningfully for you. So we appreciate your input here. Again, just a quick reminder, let's see if there's a slide for this actually. No, there's not. Quick reminder, the add-ons form, okay? I'm gonna go back so the link is on screen. tinyurl.com/nm-add-ons. This link is something you can type in pretty easily. So it's on your handout several times or a couple times. It is available on the page that I sent to the link for to student emails yesterday afternoon. And we are going to post it to social media as well. So you have a lot of different ways to find that form again if you want to apply for honors or express interest in any of those other things. And again, the opening, the window for making your edits to your course plan, that like we just did a moment ago, or to submit an add-ons form is noon, January 9, 2023. So thanks again. Looking forward to a great 23-24 school year with you.